Ditch the belief that you're old. I mean, we all know older women who just glow and they just look fantastic. And I say to myself at this point in my life, I want that.
Hello, my honeys. It is Emmie and Healthy Mummy. If you are not familiar with Healthy Mummy, just a brief elevator speech about her background. She is my mom, and she has been vegan for almost as long as I have because somebody convinced her to go on a plant-based diet, which was great, but she wasn't fully whole food plant-based oil-free and thus was still struggling with high cholesterol, and then going through menopause, had weight come on. So then almost 2 years ago, she went through my program, the weight is off, and she has maintained great health ever since. So in today's video, we are going to be sharing 10 tips for women that are in the position that Healthy Mummy was in about 2 years ago, struggling with the menopause, weight gain, high cholesterol, and just wanting to get it all taken care of. So Healthy Mummy is going to share 5 tips mindset-wise, and I'm going to share 5 nutrition tips specifically for women that are in premenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal age to best help you. And if you don't know who I am, hey, I'm Healthy Emmie, I'm a nutritionist. If you want to work with me and my team of mindset coaches and nutrition coaches, you can go to healthyemmie.org and we would love to meet you. So, ready for it?
Ready.
All right, I will let you do the honors with tip number 10, and then we'll go all the way down to number 1.
Okay. I would say, for me, tip number 10 would be to ditch the belief that you're old. We're living in a time now where women our age talk about 60 being the new 40 is just really fantastic. I look at pictures of my grandmother at my age and it looks to me like she's 90. So embrace that and let that be your foundation.
That is so true, especially because you and Dad are living the best life that I've ever seen you live, now heading into retirement.
Yeah.
And you work your whole life so that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor after you retire. And most people, unfortunately, are sick due to diseases of dietary excess, overweight, high blood pressure. You want to go out and travel and go on hikes, but your joints hurt too much because you're overweight. So now is the best time to focus on getting your health back.
Right, don't be that person.
Yeah, you want to, you work your whole life so you can retire and just sit at home? No way.
Right.
Let's get this settled. All right, so tip number 9 from me, nutrition, is actually to incorporate for women of menopausal age, if you're dealing with things like hot flashes, any of the side effects that come with menopause, to add in a half a cup of soybeans every day. Now, you may have heard that soybeans are related to edamame, related to tofu, and that's absolutely true. But the soybeans themselves are what you want to go for in this case. You can order them on Amazon. You can order dry soybeans, and you want to eat a half a cup of them a day. All you have to do is put them in the Instant Pot or the pressure cooker for 40 minutes. You'll definitely see an effect on things like hot flashes, brain fog, any of the other side effects that come with menopause. This is going to be helpful. And I will say, of course, you want to do this alongside a whole food plant-based diet. You can't be eating junk all day and then say a half a cup of soybeans is going to fix everything for you. But this has been shown to substantially help the side effects that come along with menopause. And of course, when it comes to losing weight and everything else we want to do in menopause, a half a cup of soybeans isn't going to do it. But if you can help reduce the side effects, you can see, oh, these plant foods really are powerful. There really is something here. And B, if you're just feeling better overall, you're more motivated to continue on with this health journey. All right, tip number 8.
For me would be the importance of staying active and especially limber. To be able to stretch your bones, stretch your joints and muscles. That's what Tom Brady does, attributes his success to that. But really, I probably feel the loosest and my posture is the best it's ever been at my age now, believe it or not. So yoga, stretching, light weightlifting, walking. You don't have to feel like you have to buy a Peloton and pedal yourself into heart failure. You just have to daily stay moving.
And if you are doing daily movements and you say, is this even doing anything? The answer is yes, it is. And you don't have to feel like you're getting a crazy burn. The goal is to keep keep some WD-40 in your joints.
Right.
Because as you get older, it's hard to do anything really. And for women that are older, you want to just sit down and get up from a chair and make that your daily movement, because so many older women can't sit down and then stand up in a chair. So simple things like that, simple movements that you do every day, just repeat them over and over. Getting into the car, getting out of the car, into the car, out of the car. Your neighbor's gonna be like, what is that person doing? But when you're 90 and you can pop into the car and pop out of the car, you're gonna be grateful that you were doing all of these movements to keep you limber. So I love that one.
Thanks.
My next nutrition tip is no animal products. So what happens, especially in Western societies and Americanized societies, is because we're eating so many animal products, our estrogen levels are way higher than they should be for way longer than they should be. From ages 35 to 55, what's supposed to happen is your estrogen levels are supposed to naturally go down and go down and go down. And menopause is really supposed to be 20 years from 35 to 55. But unfortunately, we're eating so many animal products that estrogen is staying much higher until you get to 55 and your body's like, we can't do this anymore, and estrogen plummets. And that's what causes the spare tire weight gain that women usually get around the midsection, the hot flashes, the brain fog, the fatigue. And then what women do is they go on hormone replacement therapy because they say, oh, this is the problem, I don't have enough estrogen. You're not supposed to have that much estrogen at that age. It's relative. It seems like you don't have any because you used to have so much. So by cutting out the animal products and introducing plant-based foods, which have phytoestrogens, that's going to regulate your estrogen levels to more so mimic what the estrogen decline is supposed to look like from ages 35 to 55. So get those animal products out of here. 6.
Number 6. I'm going to preface this by saying my next tip that I have been in the Western medical field for nearly 40 years, but then that's why I can say this with conviction. We should have less emphasis on our annual medical screenings and more emphasis on our daily healthy living. When you get to a certain age, and my friends and I hear ourselves doing this, we start talking numbers. What's your cholesterol, what's your bone density, and I say, oh my God, I've become my parents. Because the Western medical model is to get you in and continuously screen for diseases, bad things, always waiting for it. You got to come in every year because it's coming. You're going to get sick. And it's just so negative. Whereas what's really most important is that you focus daily on the health and the joy of still being here at a certain age. So even if you get bad cholesterol results, which I've had, and listen, I've had the worst medical news you can get, trust me, you can still dig yourself out and regroup and carry on in a healthy manner.
You know what I appreciate about that tip is you said less focus on medical screening. You didn't say no focus on medical screening. There's a time and a place absolutely for Western medicine and Eastern medicine to come together and to use Western medicine when it's necessary. For example, if you need to be on a low dosage of something while you work on your lifestyle habits, but the lifestyle habits, that's the majority of it.
Right.
And the medical industry can catch you if that doesn't do it. But you're absolutely right that your health is in your hands every single day, and it is your choice to be healthy. Don't lay down and die because you got high cholesterol. So did Healthy Mummy. She did my program and it went down. We fixed it.
Yeah.
So I love that one. My next tip number 5, golden rings, is to make half of your plate veggies. Vegetables are low in calorie density, but high in nutrient density. I see many women make the mistake when the menopause weight comes on, they say, oh, now I need to eat less. I'm already eating so little, how am I going to eat less? So they eat teeny tiny portions And then what happens is you get super hungry and you say, screw this. You throw your hands up and then you just eat anything and the weight comes back on, and it's this vicious cycle of crash dieting and weight gain. What you want to do instead is eat larger quantities of the low-calorie, nutrient-dense food. So filling half of your plate with vegetables is going to allow you to actually eat and feel full, and because the food is so high in nutrients, you feel satisfied because your body says, thanks, that's what we needed. We needed vegetables, we needed greens, we needed color. So you don't have to starve yourself. You have to eat larger quantities of the lower calorie dense, high nutrient food.
All right, for me, my next tip is try not to miss your, I don't want to say your old body, the body of your youth, your past figure. Try not to think every time you look in the mirror, oh my God, my legs used to look so much better, where did my abs go? I would encourage you to embrace the best version of your current body, because you really can feel comfortable with where you are at currently. And that negative thinking of something that's not going to come back simply isn't going to do you any good. Really just try and be we all know older women who just glow and they just look fantastic. And I say to myself at this point in my life, I want that.
Well, you are that, in my opinion. You really are. And that's what people say to me. That's what my clients say. They say, she just glows. She's so beautiful. Which means by default, I glow and I'm beautiful. So I like when they say that. But I completely agree. I like the concept of body neutrality. There's a lot of body positivity. You've heard the body positive movement. Sure. I think that's really difficult for a lot of people, and they feel like they're kind of lying to themselves, saying, I love what I look like, I love what I look like. So if we can take the stance of body neutrality, which is loving our body for what it does, not for what it looks like, it's a really healthy, practical approach, and reminding yourself that your body's an instrument, not an ornament, and we shouldn't do these things so that we look a certain way. We should eat this way so that we feel a certain way.
Yes.
And looking at your body as the vessel that you experience life in, as opposed to just that's everything. That's your end all be all. I mean, I'm not a supermodel. You're not a supermodel. We don't need to go crazy over this stuff. We just want to live a full, healthy life. That's a really good one. Yeah. Oh, you know what that reminds me of? In The Untethered Soul, he has such an astute point, which is, you picture your 7-year-old self who was like Dorothy in the school play. Is that version of you gone? No, that version, it's still in you. You're still the 7-year-old you, the 8-year-old you, the 9-year-old.
Always will be.
Yeah. So the body that you once had, what do you mean? It's still your body. It's still part of you. Yes. So my next tip is to go no oil, and I really mean no oil. There was this Dr. McDougall. When I first got into this lifestyle, I didn't really grasp the concept of no oil. I took it as a suggestion, not like, you really got to go no oil. And then I saw, there's some books, you see the title and you're like, oh, now I get it. Yeah. There was a title of a Dr. McDougall webinar, and the title was No, Really, No Oil. And I go, oh, okay, now I get it. Because I would have some store-bought hummus.
Right, it's hidden everywhere.
It's hidden, and I wouldn't think much of it. I'd go to restaurants and I'd get pasta with sauteed veggies, and I'd say, oh, it's vegan, and probably used a little bit of oil. But a little bit of oil is a lot, and if you are really serious about this, you have got to commit, and you don't eat anything that has an ingredients list where you would find oil on it. So full commitment to this, because I'll put a graphic on the screen about how calorically dense oil really is. And you have got to commit and be honest with yourself. And if you can't be honest with yourself, find somebody that you can be accountable to that's looking at everything that you're eating. Otherwise, you'll let that stuff sneak in. So absolutely no oil.
My final tip is to be realistic, and please don't feel like a failure if you don't reach your pre-established level of perfection in the amount of time that you've given yourself, because this is a journey. You will see results right away, but human nature is such that you may falter a little bit until you get to that plateau at which you're committed and it becomes your life and you're comfortable. But don't let a slip, or if you're a little slower to show the results you want, derail you.
This reminds me of a video that we did a few months ago where we were talking about how we've tried to clean up your vegan diet a few times.
Oh, yeah.
And now you've got it.
Yeah, get it now.
Yeah, but it took a few times. So I have a lot of women that say to me, I'm so inspired by Healthy Mommy. And I say, I am too, she's great. But don't think that I said, hey, go on my program or stop eating oil. And that was that. It took us a few times for you to really get it.
Yeah.
And now you've got it.
Yeah.
But if you try this out and then you quote unquote fail, relapse is part of recovery. You're not failing. You are learning and you're growing. And sometimes you have to take a step back in order to take a step forward.
Right.
And so those slip ups, you can think of yourself like a slingshot. You've been pulled back, but then you just launch forward from it.
It's a lifetime of change. You're trying to create.
If you ever stop evolving and changing, then we have a big problem. My last tip is to ask for help. And don't think that just because I'm 50 something, I'm 60 something, shouldn't I figure this out by now, to release any judgment about that and any embarrassment about that, because there are so many women that I talk to every single day that are incredibly intelligent, successful, capable, smart, strong women. And the struggle that American and Western women go through, the struggle that women go through,
It's real.
it does not discriminate to how intelligent or capable or how good of a mom or a wife you are. It's very, very common, and it's something that if you are intelligent, it's probably why you're watching this video, because I got some sort of watching this video. It's all the more reason for you to get help, because you will understand the person that's trying to help you. You'll understand what they're saying. You'll say, oh wait, this makes perfect sense. I'm going to make that change. I'm going to go do this. So ask for help, and I would love to help you, and I can help you, and that is my last tip.
Don't suffer alone. I found in my life that the greatest things that have come from opening up to other people and asking for help.
Yep. Vulnerability bonds people. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching, guys. Did you go for your walk?
No.
I'll walk with you if you want to
Oh,
walk.
that'd be awesome. I'd love that.
Okay.
Let's do it.